write tracks for Steve Swift reviews. He punched me twice in the face and asked for a duel. The pugilistic prophet with newbies diagnostics, like Scroobius Pip but less toxic. The UK comic shooting stars never lost it. It's 2025 and the internet still dies. Guys are chasing algorithms like a crack pipe high. Everybody based.
Well. I mean, it's time once again for maybe a new little look. If you're seeing this on YouTube, we've got some new graphics. We've got some new stuff, a new song in the background provided to us from our good friend Laz the Third. If you haven't had a chance to go check it out, please head on over to YouTube and check out some of the songs, some of the videos. He's got one over there now, Redman and him. I mean, and we all know how we feel about Wu-Tang, not just here, but, you know, in daycares as well, because it is for the children. I'm Chris. He's Steve. This is the Bees of Boxing. And this week, Steve, I mean, it was a hell of a weekend for boxing. We're going to talk about beatings. We're going to talk about betrayals. We're going to talk about bullying. We're going to talk about buddies and also boring bitches. That's right. That's why it's called the Bees of Boxing, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're listening to this on all of your podcast providers or any one of them at a time, I don't know, maybe put them on all of the podcast providers all at once. Get all of your speakers going. What do we got? We got Alexa, we got Siri, we got I don't even know anymore. Gemini, whatever it is, whatever you got, get them going, or just check it out on YouTube. That's what we're doing here. Steve, how you doing today, man?
I'm very well. I got an extra hour's sleep. Box went back, so I had 8 hours sleep. That's one of the first times in recent memory. So I feel refreshed and ready to talk about excellent boxing.
Well, I mean, listen, we had some great fights. Well, sorry. We had a great fight and then a whole lot of lopsided BS where I don't know what happened. What do you want to get into first? Let's talk. I mean, we have to talk about the heavyweights because that was a beating. That was a beating back and forth, not one-sided. That was a back and forth big boy beating. What'd you think?
Well, first of all, I want to talk about Howard Foster, the referee. Howard, I'm sorry you've had so much bullshit, another B, on the internet, because I think that your actions at the end of that fight were entirely correct. I think you have to be careful with with two heavyweights, particularly when one looks out on his feet and then isn't throwing at all. I thought it was fantastic for Wardley. I thought that Parker lost that fight when he piled on 20 pounds more than Wardley. I said yesterday on my podcast, Steve Swift's Rambling Reviews, Steve Swift, if he put that on, why did he do it? What's the benefit for him? He's not a supreme explosive puncher, unlike Wardley. And so why would he do it? He'll need to go through to the end of the fight and get a decision, which he would have done if he could have got to the end of the fight, but he didn't, folks.
I don't know if I would classify Fabio Wardley as a stupendous puncher. I think you might be a little bit of a British biased there, Steve Swift. Yeah, that's right. A couple more B's right there. Listen. The bad man of Ipswich. I think, am I saying that right? Does that sound tough? You say that? The bad man of Ipswich. Oh boy. Yeah.
Ipswich is not necessarily it's not a kind of town that you would say, stay away from there, you'll never get out again. Not that kind of thing. The Ipswich football team, the supporters are called the Tractor Boys. There's a lot of farms in Ipswich, but you don't get very many fighters out of Ipswich. I agree with you about Wardley not being a massively explosive puncher. Bigger puncher than Parker, I think, though. I thought Parker would win it. I thought he'd show his superior boxing skill and experience and win it. And I was wrong again. And I think those 20 pounds really told on him.
Here's the thing that I noticed, like at heavyweight, and we've always said this before at heavyweight, that it only takes one shot to change the momentum of the fight. And a lot of times it doesn't come from a straight punch. It's going to come from a wrist. It's going to come from a forearm. It's going to come from something crazy. And Joseph Parker was the better puncher. He was the better boxer, but he wasn't a maniacal freak that Fabio Wardley turned into when needed to be. And that's something that you can't dictate in any way, shape, or form. So I'm going to go back to a guy who very much like that, very much not the greatest boxer in all of heavyweight boxing, but had a whole lot of success also beating Joseph Parker, talking about Deontay Wilder. Very similar in the sense that the only thing different, in my opinion, I think that Fabio Wardley does have obviously a much better chin, and also does have, I think, better boxing skills, overall boxing skills than Deontay Wilder did. But you can see the similarities, like when mayhem started to happen in that round 10 and then around 11, obviously, you could see that he was going on instinct, and I'm in a fight. I'm not in a boxing fight. I'm in a fight. And Fabio Wardley turned that into a fight, and Joseph Parker didn't know how to handle it.
No, it's got to break your heart when you hit someone with a good punch or a series of punches, and they just open up and say, more, give me more, as he did in round 10, I think it was, Wardley, and that's extraordinary.
And that happened early, though, too, because Parker stunned Wardley early in the fight, right, to the point where everybody thought, oh, my God, is this going to be an early fight? And I don't know. I mean, kudos to a young, where he is now, Fabio Wardley, for being able to withstand the kind of punishment that he's doing. But here's my question to you, Steve, because now he is the WB, oh my God, champion in heavyweight, because Usyk decided to just, this is how I'm going to create my next fight, is I'm going to hand you here, hold this for me, and then when I come back, I'm going to get it. He did this before, and now he's done this a second time. Do you think a 20-win Fabio Wardley has the ability to do that kind of mayhem, that Ipswich tornado, as we're going to, right? Do you think he can do that against what is arguably now an older, more mature, a lot less time left in the ring, Alexander Usyk, and become that poster boy for Britain and bring all the belts home, king?
Well, just a very quick one. I mean, Frank Warren's got, he's got interest in both, of course, but Moses Talman must be thinking, oh, maybe I should have had a go. I mean, the thing about the Parker Wardley is that Parker was, Usyk got into his head, I think, and Parker thought, sod you then, I'm not hanging around for you. Wardley, come over here, you'll do. And it didn't go well for him. Wardley is nowhere in an Usyk fight, in my view. He doesn't, he resembles a Daniel Dubois who can actually put a few sentences together and a paragraph. So, he's an incredibly intelligent, erudite man, Wardley. I really admire that about him. Same with Parker, but I really admire that about Wardley. But he's similar to Dubois in that I don't think he has the boxing knowledge and the boxing acumen to be a wily campaigner like Usyk. I mean, beating Joseph Parker is very different to facing Usyk. There is nobody on his level at all at the moment. Certainly not me, who might want to fight you, but I don't know. I'm retired now. Wonder why he said he's finally retired and even $1 billion won't bring him back. We'll get into that in a minute, but I wonder why, eh?
Yeah, well, that's exactly why. Because I don't think, and obviously you're talking about, the shithouse himself sitting ringside there, Frank's puppet for the night, as it were. Because if that guy was any closer to him, he would have been telling you exactly what ring was on what finger. Tyson Fury does not want anything to do with that young storm of a fight. So his only campaign is to be like, no, I wouldn't, not for no way. I'm not doing it, because we've all said before what his only fight is. Now, we'll get into that more in a minute. But is Fabio Wardley is he deserving of a shot against Usyk, or would you rather see Fabio Wardley against Moses Saitama? Because Moses Saitama is now they're saying that he's not going to fight this year. Probably the delay, he's going to fight somewhere in 2026. And the timing on this decision also becomes very suspect, because maybe it's been put to him, listen, Usyk's got this back thing and he's not going anywhere and he's going to do his thing. Fabio Wardley isn't enough meat on the table to make a good fight for him. But we've said before here on the best boxing podcast ever that Moses is that future, is that thing, is that guy that should be fighting Usyk for that passing of the torch. What do you think?
But not yet. Too early for Moses. So the Brit in me, as soon as you said Moses versus Fabio, I went, no, not two Brit stars fighting each other, unless it's Tyson Fury versus AJ, because I don't really care about either of them. But by the way, Frank Warren's got to be delighted, hasn't he? Tyson Fury, Moses Saitama, Fabio Wardley.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, when you look at Matchroom, have you got AJ? Who else have you? So I think that I'm not too bothered about the Moses, although I think fans will be, but I'm not too bothered about the Moses can't fight in December situation, because it bumps Chisora up to Derek. Whoa, Chisora, I saw you rolling your effing eyes then. It bumps him up to the main event, which I really like as a fan who's, you know, people are complaining about the pay-per-view stuff, which we also need to talk about, you know, and all of that. And I can understand that, but I really do want Chisora to have that final big fight, particularly now he's fighting Dillian White. I wouldn't have wanted it with big baby Jarrell Miller, who, by the way, has created an interview for himself afterwards. I think he even showed a negative doping test on his phone, didn't he? Please, somebody give me a fucking fight.
Here's the thing. Has the heavyweight division found itself in a log jam right now? Has Usyk did the light heavyweight, did the White Holyfield step up and put a log jam in the heavyweight division?
Yes, because he holds all the cards. Because again, you know, you don't want to push him unless I've missed some news here. You know, because I have been out today. You know, just buying some nice clothing at vintage stores. That's what I like to do. So unless I've missed something, you know, you don't want to push him too hard if you're the WBO, WBA, or whatever, because he might just say, go and play somewhere else. I fancy another greenback fight, actually, because even though his team have said, well, that Tyson Fury thing, I think that's shut. The door's shut there, isn't it? It can always open again. This is why Tyson Fury say, I'm not coming back for even £1 billion. I'm not coming, you know, I'm not coming back, shithouse. That's why he said it, because he's not going to fight AJ. He's already said, I'll fight AJ if there's no money involved. You can give all the money to charity. I expect that Eddie and Frank Warren went, what are you saying? But I think that Usyk has done this. I think he has created a logjam. I don't think he's bothered, because he's won all the belts. They're all quite heavy. And, you know, it's heavy on you. You can't wear them all. It's really heavy on your shoulders, and he holds all the cards. He's going to come back, but he's not said how. Sure. I don't think, unless I missed something. So this is the issue. I mean, I know that Max Kellerman said, oh, I don't know if he's really good enough to get into the Hall of Fame, or to be not the Hall of Fame, but to be one of the best heavyweights ever, because he's done loads of stuff at cruiserweight. Well, you fight who's put in front of you. really. And he had. I think.
Do we talk about what Evander Holyfield did at cruiserweight, at light heavyweight? We don't. No, we talk about Evander Holyfield fighting Mike Tyson. We talk about his work at heavyweight. So shut up, Max. How about that? Huh?
Well, also, shut up, Max Schilling for Dana White and the Ring magazine. Yeah. Do you know? Oh, right. Okay. Maybe that was just something that was not part of the almighty dollar, but I worry about that. Anyway, I do think that it's strange, isn't it? Because the heavyweight division, and it's a peculiarly British division at the moment, which is great. There's loads of burgeoning Brit boxers out there for the heavyweight division, but at the top, it's completely shut down, isn't it? Really, because of Usyk. But around underneath it, it's raging, and at some point, it's going to overflow. And Usyk, if he doesn't make a decision soon, is going to be forced into a decision.
I mean, the United States of America has some pretty good heavyweight boxers too, Steve. I don't know. I don't know why you're trying to, we got Jamie. Okay, guys got Frazier Clark.
We've got them. We've got Chris Billam-Smith, but we've also got a load of other burgeoning boxers as well. I mean, you've got Big Baby.
We claim Andy Ruiz. We have to claim him, otherwise he's going to get deported.
Ruiz versus Deontay Wilder is the fight you never thought you wanted to see and still don't want to see. Similarly,
who called it though? We called it right here. We called it as soon as we knew they were showing up in the same building before they even announced it. Come on. What do you think we're dumb here? Come on.
This is it. I mean, Chisora, after I on my podcast said, don't fight Big Baby. By the way, you can claim him as one of your American heavyweights. I'm quite happy for you to do that. After I said, don't fight Big Baby, fight Dillian White. That's what happened. It happens all the time these days. Our podcasts are just people are listening. They're doing things for us.
It's wild. And we thank all of them for it.
We do.
Now, that fight, that heavyweight fight at the top of the card was a good fight. That was everything that you wanted to see in a heavyweight tumble. What did you think, however, of the rest of this DAZN outing?
I haven't seen it yet because what happened was I watched the main event last night as it happened. I haven't seen anything else, and I still haven't because I was immediately pulled into the Howard Foster, the ref, should be flogged and put in the stocks in the Tower of London. So I immediately got involved in that and then went out to buy some excellent vintage clothing.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that you saw what was the price for this DAZN pay-per-view?
Was it 20? It was 25. It's 25, isn't it?
25 pound.
Yeah, isn't it? Wasn't it? I think it was.
I don't know. I have a special link. I have a special link tied right into my DAZN stuff. So
I have an independent income, so I'm not too bothered.
This is as close to white privilege as I can get. I get to watch the boxing events at a discount. That's pretty much it. That's the extent of it. Free hoodie now and again. I don't know. Let me ask you this. Let me shift gears here a little bit because I want to talk about obviously other things in the world of boxing. And we're going to talk about betrayals. I want to talk about a betrayal next because it seems like Gervonta Tank Davis, the big question that we're asking is he being betrayed from the brotherhood of boxing, if you ask Tim Bradley, or is this karma? Is this karma for a guy who has openly said he's out? What do you think is going on here? Because we're talking about, it seems like Jake Paul, obviously, for those of you that don't know, I'm sorry. Jake Paul was seen and given grief by others because he had Shakur Stevenson over there training with him in preparation for this exhibition tap dancing competition that he's doing with Gervonta Davis. What do you think about all of this?
Well, first of all, I just want to say that Jake Paul, when people report this, and I report on their reporting because I find it ridiculous. It's all about state the bleeding obvious for us, will you, Jake? And we will report on that as if it's some kind of oracle. So, yes, he's doing the Shakur. I'm sparring with Shakur Stevenson. Oh, Gervonta Davis knows him. So there's all that going on. While he's talking about that, he's saying, because I'm focusing on speed rather than power. I might take some muscle off. Really? I mean, even if you're not a boxing aficionado, you kind of know that when you're dealing with someone much smaller than you, he's probably going to be faster than you. Consequently, you deal with speed. It's as if you say, it's as if you're saying, if you want to cook sausages, I'd cook them first rather than eat them raw. Actually, put some heat under them, and then you won't get a bad tummy. Thanks. I've been shitting through the eye of a needle for ages, and now you've told me. So there's that. But yes, Gervonta Davis is being, I think it's karma, because you cannot say in this, because the world of boxing is very sort of hermetically sealed in a way. If a slight to one is a slight to all. So if you're saying, I'm out, I can't stand it, then just go. Do not tell us, I'm out. I'm going to have one more clown show of a fight. And I'm telling you, I can't stand boxing. It's awful. Nobody likes boxing, wants to see somebody saying, what you like is shite. And I'm going to tell you that and show you in my stance as well, and in my attitude, whenever I'm interviewed or seen at all. I won't take part in stuff either. People don't like that. And I think that might be something to do with it.
But I mean, the same question could be said then. If you say, like to your saying, if you say you're out, then just be out, right?
Yeah. Don't accept.
How come that doesn't apply to Tyson Fury?
Because Tyson Fury has a great charisma, and Gervonta Davis doesn't. Tyson Fury can lead a conversation with all that shit and all that kind of stuff. He has that kind of honesty he has a place outside of the boxing of boxing. He has a real place in the business of boxing, and people don't need necessarily to see the boxing of boxing because they're quite like, here I am walking around the supermarket. I mean, that's on TikTok, and it's got tons and tons of hits. So people like that. Not the same for Gervonta Davis, because he's never had the gift of the gab, or gift of gab, as it's called across the pond. Never had that, I don't think. So consequently, people don't want to hear him say in that kind of way, that kind of spoiled child way, I don't like boxing.
Maybe that's just it. Maybe he hasn't tapped into the right market. Maybe Gervonta Davis missed an entire market of people that he doesn't know because they don't talk to one another. Maybe Gervonta Davis, in trying to portray the image that he had, instead of the tight braids when his hair was long, maybe he should have just gone with it. Maybe done like a nice swoop, swoop down in front of everything, and be the actual emo shoegazing, don't tell me kind of guy that maybe Gervonta Davis really needed to tap into right there.
Or he could have done the 80s. The 80s pop scene is very popular at the moment, so maybe he could have done a flock of seagulls down like that in front of the eyes, and bought a synth on stage, when they had the clowns as well, and spoken to him as part of a song.
Maybe
I'm going to pop you up.
Maybe he's just a vampire, and people just don't realize it. Maybe he's gothic, and people just don't understand the brooding charisma that is, as opposed to the giant drunken oaf charisma that Tyson Fury portrays sometimes.
Giant drunken oaf. Giant drunken oaf. GDO. That's the GDO charisma of Tyson Fury.
Right?
Giant drunken oaf charisma.
Yeah. Well, you've heard of other kinds of energy. Yeah, Tyson brings that drunken oaf energy.
He does seem like your uncle at the party. You know, your uncle at the wedding.
Sometimes you want to party with that guy. Sometimes you're really happy to see that uncle. Other times you're like, oh, why is the basement door locked? But for the most part, you want to hang out with that guy because he's a lot of laughs. But I don't want to see him fight. I don't want to see him fight anymore unless it's one fight. And the only fight I want to see him fight is my other weirdo uncle that, you know, just didn't know when to stop fighting as well. And I think that's what we need to see with Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua.
Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, weirdo uncles. It's the fight for the weirdo uncles.
I mean, listen, we know how old man Fury got around back in the day. It's not out of the realm that the Furies are akin to the Dudleys of ECW, and there might be a whole lot of other Furies out there. I mean, I'm just saying.
We don't know that.
That's what I'm saying. We don't know that.
No, we don't.
Absolutely don't know that. But I mean, it has been said here, so it's probably news to somebody else.
I mean, maybe somebody else will come out and talk about it now. But I mean, the thing is that the more I see the publicity for this fight, the Gervonta Davis versus Jake Paul fight, the more I think, can you make any more mistakes? First of all, we had the actual clowns, you know, on the press conference, and balloon animals, and now we've got real animals. That they've been given animals. So Gervonta Davis has been given a lion. Maybe because he has the heart of a lion that then has its face wiped within a fight because it can't stand the heat. And Jake Paul has chosen as his animal, his spirit animal, an elephant. Right. There is nothing more that says to me this is a mismatch of styles. So you're pushing into that. But I think they reckon that that's why people will buy the pay-per-view. That's not why people will buy the pay-per-view. You know, it looks ridiculous, but I think people are over that now. So don't call yourself an elephant. You just look like a fool.
Well, I mean, in conversation wise, I mean, he is always, anytime you talk boxing, he is the elephant in the room. So maybe he's got that going for him because everybody, you know, seems to. Here's my question for you, though. So we know that Jake Paul has a fight at the top of this card. Who's the promoter? Like, who's the company, the promotion company in charge of this entire card?
Well, it's his, isn't it?
It's MVP, right?
Yeah, it's his MVP.
As the promoter, has he done anything to promote any other fight on this card whatsoever?
No. I've seen stuff come out, but he's done nothing to promote it.
So do you think that also has a bearing on the heat that Jake Paul gets from the boxing community, not just the boxers, from the promoters, from everybody alike, because he's trying to do too much by himself instead of sticking to what he should be doing, one or the other? Could you imagine? Because could you imagine if Eddie Hearn all of a sudden, like, you know, decided that he was going to get into a fight? I'm sure you can see where this is going, Steve, because there's been past heat, and I'm throwing up the air quotes here, ladies and gentlemen, because I don't believe that the heat has been 100% real. But could you imagine if we saw Eddie Hearn versus Dana White in a fight to see who gets to promote? Maybe this is what we need to do. We need to start having the promoters fight one another. TKO and His Excellency can fund this thing, right? It's called promoter fights. And who gets to run in what territory? Could you imagine? Like a giant game of Risk.
Is this one of the matches, the fights, on the first Dana White and His Excellency events?
Oh, I don't know if they would do it on the first one. Maybe like this is like a UFC 300 moment. You know what I mean? Like when you finally have it. Yeah.
But like gladiators with two big pugil sticks, two big cotton wool buds. That would be fun. I'd love that.
I think they started off with nothing, like Kirk and Spock did, and then at a certain time, one weapon gets thrown in that they now have to fight over to be able to use this thing. All for the love of a fucking boring bitch named boxing, because that's really what it is.
Now, listen, this boring bitch called boxing is the belle of the ball at the moment, because what they want to do, the promoters just want to lead that as it is, whereas it appears to me Dana and His Excellency, but certainly Dana, want to dress that boxing, that boring bitch, up in different clothing and say it's not boxing anymore. Now it's something else entirely. We will name what it is. That's the worry, isn't it? We're going to name what it is now. It's not boxing anymore, so don't worry. You were bored by it. Now you can be excited by it because it's ours.
But you know what the boxers are going to get a lot more of now? The ones that sign up for that? They're going to get these really, really super fun and nice looking vignettes describing their story, following them around, feeding their egos. This is really what they're going to get, because that's what a TV show does. And that's what I think they're creating a TV show.
Yes. And the thing is that you would say, because, we know now that there's so much work in reality TV that if you do that and someone, for instance, if you do a kind of contender series and you do a reality TV show in the house or whatever it is, someone is going to, that you didn't expect to, jump out from that. They're going to be fantastic. And in the past, if you have done, well, okay, I'm in this show for 7 weeks and then I can go out and have a career as a reality TV star, it'll start to get diminish. But I can probably get a couple of years out of that. Here, they're going to say to them, well, actually, you can't do that. You might be really popular and you might want to go, and someone might have offered you a contract, but actually, you're contracted to us, Sunshine. So you can't go anywhere else. Isn't that the way it's going to work?
Yes, it is. But to go back, I think that it has been done. It has been done where, utter pieces of garbage reality TV shows, and there is a plethora of them out there, none of which I've ever really watched other than the WWE. But I will say that there was one show in particular that had a lot of very horrible human beings on there, one of which even went on to become the president of the United States. So, yes, that's right. Yeah. Don't you remember The Apprentice and Donald Trump, that reality show? How many of those other people from that show ever really did anything other than when he had like the celebrities, Bret Michaels, come in and make special appearances? Any of the people that were from the world of business that were doing it just like this, any of the people that were from the world of boxing aren't going to equate to very much, except for maybe one or two Omarosas, that are going to come through. But for the most part, the focus is all going to be spent looking at Dana, looking at the new company, looking at His Excellency, looking at the advertising for Riyadh season, and looking at the funny colors over here, instead of paying attention to the boxing end of it. Because this isn't about the boxing, ladies and gentlemen. This is about the backstories of the fighters. This is about creating feelings and emotions with the fighters, just like they've done in mixed martial arts. Because I don't know a Charles Oliveira from a hole in the ground. I've never met the man, right? But I love him based on what they've fed to me and what they've built this person as inside of that promotion. So I'm excited to see who they can do this kind of stuff with the fighters, because you're going to see a lot more stars made, I think, in the world of boxing because of this television show.
Yes, I agree. It is simply about that. So boxing will become a secondary situation. It's, do we have to see some boxing? Can't we see them doing some more of that reality TV show? I mean, I've watched quite a lot of reality TV in this country. My favourite was when a fairly famous reality TV person who had an affair apparently with David Beckham had to wank off a pig. That was a moment I'll never forget. And you can probably see it on YouTube, folks. It was called The Farm, I think. I mean, that's a band as well, so don't get them confused. But
I thought it was Tommy Fury.
But it wasn't Tommy Fury. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Is he a boxer or a Love Island contender? When he says, I've now got this documentary, and he says, I had the worst year of my life because I had this injury and now I'm better. Well, it might be the worst year of your life, but you pulled out the Darren Till fight, and it's not about boxing, is it? Even though you're telling us it is. So, don't worry about the Darren Till fight. Carl Froch will soon be there fighting him. If he's not fighting bare knuckle, Tidster, because he likes that as well.
Well, of course he does. Of course he does. I mean, is Carl just being a bit of a sycophant? Is he like Kiss through the 80s?
I think you're right. He's under RIP Ace because what an extraordinary talent. But he is, yes, looking for the main chance. So, there's that Darren Till thing there. I've not really committed to it. And that's gone very quiet, hasn't it? So I suspect it's not going to happen. But he got a lot out of it because he can say, I knocked George Groves out. However, George Groves
happen, and everybody's being quiet about it until the paperwork's done.
It could be, but George Groves recently said on IFL, I think it might have been, and he's happy in his own skin, George. And he was just talking, and he said, "Oh yeah, I'd fight James DeGale. Yeah, I'd fight him bare knuckle. Yeah." Well, Darren Till must have thought, what? And Carl Froch must have thought, I need to get a phone call made. That George, don't fight DeGale. We can fight in the Trigon and get that sorted. I mean, that's a possibility for Darren for Carl Froch, and it's a Bunsen burner, as he says.
Mm-hmm.
You have to remain. It's 11 years ago the last fought. You'll have to remain in people's eyes, won't you, and in their subconscious. So that's it.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I will watch, even though I don't want to. It's unbelievable stuff. All right, Steve. Well, we've got a lot of new fights coming up in the future that I'm looking forward to. Listen, November is going to be one hell of a month for fights, and we're not even into it yet, and we've still got a few more even in October. So we didn't get a chance to talk about Paulie Malignaggi making his return to the world of boxing. I mean, very quickly, what did you think of Paulie's performance?
I really enjoyed it. I mean, he showed his boxing skill, so I actually enjoyed that. I didn't think I would, and I did. Afterwards, he was concerned about the thumb in the eye because he couldn't see, and then he made a video of him having waited in A&E in the NHS for a few hours. Everybody has to, mate. So that's it. It's nobody's checking your credit card to say, can you pay for it? So there you go. So there's quite a lot of talk about how injured he was, which kind of overshadowed the fight. I thought Tyler Goodjohn bought it. I thought, it's his final fight. Paulie Malignaggi was lovely to him at the end of the fight, lovely to him. And Malignaggi should continue with that. He said he wants to, and he showed quality, I thought.
I did like the clip. I'm not sure if it was AI or not, but there is a clip of Goodjohn afterwards saying that the only reason that he stuck a thumb in Malignaggi's eye is because he was trying to check his prostate. Listen, Steve, What's going on in the music world? What are we talking about over at World Weary Guy 1? If you haven't had a chance, please, people, go over there and check out some of this stuff over on YouTube that he's talking about. There's the link right there at the bottom, youtube.com at World Weary Guy 1. Please check it out. What are we talking about this week, Steve?
Well, I just posted something which, I mean, Bon Jovi are coming back, aren't they? They're having a retirement tour, and there's a video out there which was part of the announcement of it, in which they did a song live, and the fear in John Bon Jovi's face was quite difficult to watch, and his voice was quite difficult to listen to as well. But he's had the vocal cord surgery. Today he's come out and said, thank goodness for Oasis keeping rock alive. Right, can I just say, Oasis is not King Rock, mate, and if you are saying it is, that answers a lot of questions about your current and recent sodding in output, mate. So I'm not very happy about that. I'll also later on be giving people my view as to who the new Bond should be, and it's someone you don't know of.
Well, are we talking Jane or James?
We're talking of a gentleman. It's not Tyson Fury. Don't worry about that. I'm 007, you shithouse.
Oh, a new James Bond. That's an exciting one, because I can only imagine some of the people, because we've heard before. I mean, weren't they saying Idris Elba was up, that he should have been a James Bond in the past and stuff like that?
Yeah,
I think it would be more suited for somebody, maybe Pablo Pascal. Because he's everywhere right now. Why not?
I know. Right? I know. I mean, Henry Cavill will probably get it, but Idris Elba is too old, I think. Henry Cavill's probably the right age, but there is somebody he's 49, so he's probably a little bit old, but in Bond terms, but he's fantastic. I saw him in a film last night. It's a film people won't know of, I don't think, very many, and they won't know of this actor, and I'm going to big him up.
Well, there you go. Well, at least it's not going to one of the Skarsgårds. Listen, there's plenty of them, so you never know.
They're like the Dudleys.
Absolutely not. Other than the fact that there's not an ugly one in the bunch in the Skarsgårds.
No.
We cannot say the same for the Dudleys. I mean, whoo. Wow. Shout out, Bubba. Listen, Steve, as always, a pleasure to hear the Bees of Boxing, where we just always ask the simplest questions, right? What is the world of boxing about? What's going on in there? And the most important question, Steve, that I have for you: who's the music really for? Huh? It's the children, right? And you know who loves the children most of all? Say it with me, Steve. Wu-Tang is for the children. And if you don't like that, we're coming in hot. So you best tuck your chin.